Good morning. Hey, this is almost the end of the year, so boy, I guess we'll say, hey, we made it. Anyway, and this fits into the same process of what we call a paradox. You know, if this happens, and it kind of goes in different directions. The interesting, and I'm not sure if this term is used very much anymore, but there was a movie back when I was much younger called Catch-22. And what it again meant is very similar to a paradox in that if this happens and you can do this, but you need to do that and you can't, you get into what we consider a catch-22. You can't. You neither can or you neither can't. And you'd say, wait a minute, that doesn't make any sense. Well, that's a catch-22. Okay, so starting right along here, these are where, cats love catnip. Now, I am sure, not that they've told me, that they have where their dog brothers, friends, family sit there and go, hey, wait a minute. The cat loves catnip. The cat changes when it consumes catnip. And I want to have the same situation. So they kind of look at it and go, why are you having all the fun? So this is the catch-22 of catnip. I know you've been waiting for this for your whole life. The core dilemma, our dog, let's call him, Sparky, is utterly captivated by the cat, Mittens, and her blissful catnip-induced states. He whines, drools, and performs elaborate begging routines whenever Mittens encounters the magical green herb. Some of it is like, if I do this, you do that too. Anyway, so we've got some options here to try to solve this problem. Option 1, catnip indulgence. The allure. Sparky finally gets a taste. He might experience a fleeting moment of canine ecstasy, a burst of playful energy, or perhaps a profound philosophical realization about the nature of reality. Probably unlikely, but it does. The downside, chaos ensues. Sparky could transform into a furry whirlwind. Imagine furniture being scaled, priceless antiques being chewed, and a symphony of barks echoing through the house. So, it's like, if I take this drug, what's going to happen? So now we get into what we consider the aftermath. Exhaustion, possible injury, and a mountain of cleaning for the hapless owner. The stigma. The neighbors might start calling animal control. Now let's get into option 2. Catnip abstinence. The agony. Sparky is condemned to a life of yearning. He'll watch Mittens roll around in ecstasy, his canine soul filled with an unquenchable thirst for the forbidden fruit. It's again, as we were kids, somebody gets something and it's like, well, why can't I have it? And, we would like to have it. Okay, the psychological toll. This could lead to depression. Sparky might develop a profound existential, you know, I say these words and mess them up, crisis, questioning his place in the universe and the meaning of life. And I know we're all saying all over this, and that's what I like to have, where when we do these, they relate pretty well to life in general. We have now obsessive behavior. He might spend hours staring at the catnip stash, plotting elaborate heist attempts. Jealousy. His affection for mittens could turn sour, leading to a bitter interspecies rivalry. Now, here's the twist. There's always a twist, right? The veterinarian's warning. The vet, with a knowing glint in their eye, informs you that catnip is potentially harmful to dogs. It could cause unpredictable reactions, from hyperactivity to severe allergic reactions. And the interesting thing, you know, it's not that cats and dogs are similar, but it's interesting that cats would benefit from the neighbors, from the catnip, and the dog would be like, whoa, I feel sick. Now, the neighbor's intervention. The neat thing about where we live, we're kind of in the woods. Yes, there's homes, there's people around us, but generally speaking, you don't have to deal with neighbors. And the funny thing with neighbors, I've used this saying many, many times. I mean, I like people. I admit I probably like animals better, but you can't pick your neighbors. So you can end up having the best of the best or the worst of the worst. Now, again, a little aside here, speaking about neighbors, we have 5 acres of open, in the sense of treed land to our east. We have, I don't know how many acres in front of us across the street. There is a house to the right. We do have a resident right next to us. But, you know, here's the weirdest thing that's kind of scary. Very rarely do we ever see this person. We see lights on. I mean, this could be a ghost town or a ghost. It could be my dear departed relative that said, hey, I want to live next to Jim. But for a year, swear to God, we would not see this person. And we'd say, what the heck is going on? But she did, after a while, she did where she'd come out just with her rubbish barrel and then leave it for 3 days. Not that we care, but the point being that you can't choose your neighbors. And certainly she's not a problem. But she does kind of hit you in the head a little bit to say, woo, how can anybody want to live that way? Look at me. Here, I'm having fun right now. And I'm going to be doing different things today. So I'm not sitting in a house and who knows what she does. But anyway, now talking about a neighbor's intervention, the neighbor, a stern-faced woman with a collection of porcelain figurines, threatens to call animal control if Sparky's unruly behavior continues. The humor is amplified by the dog's plight. Sparky is caught in a classic Catch-22. And, in the comments, if you can, say, oh, hey, hi, guys. Oh boy, don't mind me for not waking up here. Hey there, test the spirit. They are all ya. Hey, thank you. Hi. M. DeCarberd, thank you. I'm Rabkib. Nice to meet you, Rabkib. Thank you for coming on to my presentation. Sikish Kunje. I admit, I love the comments, and thank you for being here. And I'm just wondering why Sukesh is saying Happy Father's Day. But we could say every day is a Happy Father's Day, right? Okay, good. And now we also have Begzad Zikedov Hilo McClalcom. Sorry, I destroy the names. You know, when you get used to my name is Jim. James when I'm in trouble. So you'd be kind of saying, wow, these are very interesting names. I'd be very interested if you all want to tell me where you're from. And I want to thank you for the like. I am really impressed. And thank goodness most of us all will have a New Year's Eve and hopefully some fireworks. So this is where the blessings to the world and those that subscribe, those that comment. And thank you very, very much. So anyway, back to Sparky is caught in a classic Catch-22. A victim of circumstance and his own canine curiosity. The owner's agony, the owner's torn between their desire to see Sparky happy and the fear of impending doom. So you can see the opposing forces. Happy, but if they go in the direction of happy, it could end up being a detrimental issue. So there's where we go, trying to decide what works and what doesn't, and what's a good idea and what's not. The absurdity of the situation, the entire scenario, is inherently ridiculous, highlighting the absurdity of some life situations. I hope this version provides even more comedic fodder, as it said. I didn't say that wrong. So a Catch-22 is like, you almost, where I've thought of another way of saying is you can't win. If you do this, it's wrong. If you do that, it's wrong. What other choice would there be? So I know with a true Catch-22, you certainly hope that there's a third choice to get us out of this plus minus aspect, that kind of a plus and a minus, let's say a +1 and a -1 is 0. So we would like to try to say we can kind of balance that off a little bit and have it where it's good. Anyway, I want to thank you very much for being here today. And this is New Year's Eve day. And hopefully, and I pray for everybody every night, including my subscribers and those that are coming on and doing comments. And the better I do, how I've looked at everything, and there'd be where, and I've never subscribed to this, I want to do better so somebody else does worse. Or I take their positives and I make them mine so that I have a good thing and they have a bad thing. Don't look at that thing that way. I always look at everything as being, we both can be winners. And that is how I've always run my businesses. It's not like, well, I'm going to take this away so that I benefit and somebody else does not benefit. No, it's like we both can benefit and have a very exciting opportunity. So anyway, not to make this too long so you can get ready for tonight, the big night. The thing we worry about, and luckily with us being here, not being very close to people, where we came from, which was Davie over in Broward County on the east coast of Florida, we're straight across the peninsula and in the west, and we're in Naples. And we used to have a lot of dogs and cats, and we have bears over here and panthers and deer. And the biggest thing we worry about, and it probably will be hopefully not as big of an issue over here, basically fireworks. And I'm not saying, the formal fireworks, but those that people are shooting off in their yard, in the middle of the street, and you kind of say, it scares the animals. You can't say to an animal, hey, for the night, don't get scared about anything. Unfortunately, they will. And I think it could even be not where it's going to be more pronounced over here, because again, this is much densely populated. But the point would be is I would be very worried that all our wonderful wild animals, of course, do not know what firecrackers are, and that would probably scare the hell out of them. And we don't want that happen to anyone. So please be careful. What we found, unfortunately, every year, they have where people get hurt. They, especially as the material made with firecrackers or fireworks, they're much stronger, more powerful than they were when I was a kid. And I wasn't even allowed to have firecrackers, although we would sneak them, because that's when your parents say you can't have something, you say, I want something. But they were made in China, and we had fun. And then they had these, what we called M80s, which probably they were pretty big firecrackers, but we would have it where you couldn't afford them, and you wouldn't want to use them because you wouldn't want to have it where you didn't have any. So there we go. A Catch-22, another one. In other words, I have firecrackers because I want them, but I can't set them off because I want them and I now won't have them. So there we go. There's the Catch-22. Can't have them, can't use them, can't win. Anyway, other than that, I win every day. So thank you very much for being here, and my best to you, my 4 commenters. And I want you all to have a very good 4th of July. 4th of July. Come on, Jim. New Year's Eve. And may 2025 be a wonderful year for us all. And thank you so much for being here. Be safe. People do a lot of drinking and driving.